David, by the way. I'm the one who's been messaging back and forth with you on Facebook.
Okay.
And that's Abe. That's his deal. This is his whole thing.
Yeah, my name's Abraham. Like, kind of like a fighting game fan. Not so good player.
It's okay. We all start like that.
Yeah.
Then there's a point when where you go to like your first tournament or something. Then you think you're good. Then you realize there's so much out there, and that's the point where people decide if they want to keep on this or not. Honestly.
Yeah. And we got communication major Johnny Ward in the house.
What's up?
Hi, Johnny. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to meet you too, Mr. Evo 2015 champ.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, wait, are we recording already?
Yeah, I'm just recording now. Edit the beginning if need be. Should we call you Nick, or should we call you Nicholas?
Yeah, what do we call you?
KaneBlueRiver?
A lot of people ask me that. Whatever makes my head turn is fine. Whatever works better for you.
Okay.
Honestly.
How about Champione?
No. Honestly, I'm like it never. I thought it will sink in later because at the moment it didn't really happen, but it ended up never really happening for me. It's like okay, okay, like I did this. This is something I wanted for like such a long time, but then I was like. But at the end, it's like the biggest tournament. But at the end, it's just one more tournament. There's so much more to do.
It's basically another notch in your belt.
Hopefully, one of many more to come.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right on.
I got you. So
I actually had a great picture I wanted to switch to, and I can't find it.
Oh, did you have one of him too?
I actually have one of him. Yeah.
Every time he interviews somebody, he tries to put a profile pic of him with that person or just that person.
Because I don't know if I doubt you remember, but I sent it in the Facebook message. Like right after you won, I was playing slots at the venue, and you just walked by, and I was like, "Hey!" And then I
don't remember that.
Yeah, and I asked you, what you said because they wouldn't give you the mic for whatever reason. And,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and you kind of told me, well, I mean, it's been posted online now. Your words that you had after, but. No, it was cool. I had a picture, but I don't know what the hell happened to it. Anyway,
I feel like you're like a fighting game stalker, David. Like
I am.
You have pictures with everybody at Evo.
Yeah. That's how we get the interviews, is because of the people that I hunt down. Yeah. So I was reading some articles about you. One I think was on SRK that Abe sent me, and kind of just your backstory. I saw that you were a Magic player for like years.
Yes, I played Magic for from between 98. Started with when Stronghold just had come out, and stopped playing like in early 2011. After so just like fighting games, like trying to. I've always been into competitive gaming, so of course Magic appealed to me a lot. Plus, when I started playing, the game had like there was a lot of there were like people would try to pitch the game as basically the new chess, like an elite mental sport.
Right.
And that definitely attracted me, and that's how I started playing. But of course, it's way harder down here to become good at anything that's like competitive gaming because. It's way more expensive. We have less resources, and so many things. Right. So even though I always had a lot of communication with people from abroad, I was never really able to break out myself until like mid 2010 when I finally won a local PTQ. So I was able to travel to Pro Tour Amsterdam that year. But my experience there was meh at best.
I think I remember reading you said that even the qualifier you won, you felt like you kind of won, like you didn't earn it, like it was kind of random.
I mean, what happened is that it was a standard at the time, and Super Friends was dominating everything. But then everyone here, like most people here, are like heavy net deckers because they don't have the the resources to like work and grind and stuff. So what happened is that I had been playing that deck and had been doing pretty good during the season. But what happened at that particular tournament is that I wasn't able to get the cards, and the only thing I was able to get was a Boros Landfall aggro deck. The thing is that the week before that, or like 2 weeks, there was a major win, like I think a Grand Prix where a new deck came out and started destroying Super Friends, which was Turboland.
Oh, okay.
So basically, what happened is that like I had to end up playing this aggro deck, and like I did, I managed to do well enough to make it to top 8, and like first match of top 8 was a deck that I had was Polymorph, which my deck beat, but I also got really lucky because his only way out was to get Emrakul out as soon as possible, and both games, like I had one Oblivion Ring on Cywar, and both times he cast it, I had it on hand. So I got lucky there. Then semifinals was a blue-white control, and it was a guy that was a friend, and I also tested a lot with him. And what happened is that he saw who like the other semifinals, and he knew he wasn't going to be able to beat. Like it was another Super Friend. My friend played Super Friends, and then the other time it was Super Friends versus Turboland, and there was no way Super Friends beats Turboland. So he knew he was going to lose grand finals. So he basically let me win without telling me.
I'm sorry.
And
Dang.
and grand finals, basically, I just got like really lucky, or my opponent got really unlucky because he like I had a really slow start, and he drew like almost everything in his deck, and he didn't get to find any answers. So that's how I got lucky. But it's more like for me it was great at the moment, but like it was the for me like it was a huge achievement. But like my experience out there abroad wasn't good, honestly. So that's why I decided to like I fell off the game. Basically, I keep track of it. I'm constantly looking at it, but the game lost its charm for me, especially because I feel now it's and one of like two of the things that appeal that fighting games have that I don't no three things that I really like about fighting games that Magic doesn't have is that A, the luck factor.
Yeah.
B, that it's really easy to cheat in Magic, and now that the stakes in there are higher than ever before, a lot of people, more and more people are doing that because, like, even if they find you, they don't like take the stuff you want. So basically, let's say you cheat your way into 3 Pro Tours, and the third one you get discovered and you get banned for like 5 years.
Eee.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Like they won't take your money, and they can't take all the tickets you got, all the traveling you did. So it doesn't really matter.
Right. By the time you get caught, it's too late.
Yeah, and the other thing is hype. Like, so with a lot of changes on Wizards of the Coast tournament policy, they started doing a lot more Grand Prixes in this area. Like before, like 2010, we used to get like one every 3 years or so. Now we get one every single year. And I remember I went to one in 2012, I think, or 13 maybe. And like I was so like I was already like contagious with this fear of the FGC, and I tried getting hype of the tournament. I was like getting all those shh, you can't make noise here, blah blah blah. It's like, nah,
screw that. Yeah, that's yeah. So
I was like top. I see top. I was like, oh, let's go. It's like, shh. I was like, oh damn.
So I read that that's kind of why you made the conversion. Well, not the hype thing, but that you said the game was a little too random and you didn't feel like all your wins necessarily came from outplaying other people. Yeah. So at what point would you say you made the transition from Magic to like fighting games full time?
Well, I will say I made the transition to playing fighting games full time. It's just that, like at that point when I did that, I wasn't really like I just dropped Magic, but I just dropped Magic. But at that point, I I still wasn't like thinking about playing competitively because I didn't have the opportunities. This the first opportunity for me to like start actually being competitive
How was
was
that?
was like in early 2012 because when a group of players organized a tournament that would send a player to you, and that was my dream since like I got awareness that there was a huge international community. So for me, that's when I decided I have to go all in on this.
Also, there was like a gap there where you weren't playing competitive fighting games or Magic.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I think I read that like your first real interest came in 2012 when you went to Evo. And so I read. Did you guys have anything? I read. I took like a ton of notes from this article.
Well, no, you're the man on this, David.
First Evo trip. I read that so kind of actually, and Abe had this question lined up too. Where did the name come from?
Mine, like KaneBlueRiver?
Yeah.
Yes.
It started with an inside joke with a group of friends a long time ago. I would say like year 99, 2000 or something like that. But it's like a personal thing. But the name is basically it's the name of the main character of a really obscure anime series. The series is so obscure by now. Like a few people know about it and have recognized the name and stuff, but for the most part, it's so obscure that I completely overtook like the searches.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like, like if you search in Google for the name, I will show up a lot before the anime character.
Okay.
It makes sense.
So you
Fair
own
enough.
that now, copyrighted.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. I would freaking go to the store, say like, I want this name, copyright. Anybody uses this name, I get paid for it as well.
Yeah, for sure. I have a tag that's based on an inside joke as well. I hope I never get famous because I won't have a way to really explain that.
So,
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say. So I think David told me. So you're in Chile right now.
Yes, I came back home after right after SCR. What happens is that I can't really afford the tickets to go to the States. I always get them. By winning tournaments or in a particular. In 2014, I got it by getting invited to Capcom Cup.
That's right.
The first year when they had Marvel that year. And what happened is this year it was harder for me because I choked really bad in the tournament and I didn't win it, and I thought it was everything over for me, and that's the first time like some people of my local community actually helped me to make it out there. So when I travel around, I need to like when I buy the tickets, I need to define immediately how long am I going to stay out there, because of immigration rules, they demand that you have a regular round trip ticket for you. You can't buy one way then buy the way back, like whenever you feel like coming back. So what I just do is I just get the longest ticket possible, which is usually 6 months, and if I need to come back earlier, I just change the date, and that's like $200.
Ugh, that's kind of lame.
That's like one money match, right?
Well, I'm not big into money matches, so what money's really hard to come by down here. So, like, consider that, for example, Chile is one of the countries in like one of the best financial, economical, political situations in the whole region. We have like second best minimum wage in Latin America, second or third. And minimum wage here is like 175 per hour.
All right, so do you know
Jesus
what's the
Christ.
next tournament you're gonna come to in America?
Sorry about that.
I'm sorry. No, continue. I thought you had finished. Keep going.
So what happens is that people here, since money is hard to come by here, people are really clingy to their money. So for the most part, in here in Chile and Argentina, Brazil, in many countries, you won't see people doing money, like doing a lot. Very few people money match, and like you don't see side betting at all. Side betting is a thing of the American FGC culture that still surprises me to this day. I'm like, how can people will be willing to just throw money? Like I saw Flux lose $100 in 5 seconds to Chris G in a dice roll.
That's nuts.
That's New York.
I'm like, what's these guys are crazy. These guys
Yeah,
are
I guess it's so normal to me. I don't think about the fact that like other countries don't do it. You know what I mean?
or like people betting on like even a rod on the timer when the fight ends and stuff like that. It's like,
Oh yeah.
Like I know Aguero here locally loves to do first hit bets. Like whoever gets hit first.
so
That's like $50.
yeah. So for me, honestly, that money matching is not a big thing. Plus, I learned from a good friend I have, who is the one that like introduced me, like believed in me to be able to get to a competitive level. He was a person I trained Street Fighter 4 the most. This is before Marvel 3 came out. I was fully into Street Fighter 4. And what happened is that I had a really good training group, but I lost everyone to League of Legends. And that was about around the same time Marvel 3 came out. That's why I kind of switched priorities, because I felt Marvel wasn't a game that it was easier to pick up on your own. You didn't need as much training to get to a competent level in terms of like having to play with other people, because it's so focused on making on creating the one player game situation.
Okay.
I don't think I missed it, Brian. You didn't say hi yet, did you?
No, he joined midway.
Hello.
Hi there, Bryan.
This is our guy. This is our local Marvel guy. Like
Yeah.
the best. So
No, not even.
no, you're the best, Brian. That's
I play horrible teams.
Well, you know what? You
I play
can
horrible,
relate to
so-
Kane. Yeah, you can relate to him.
Yeah.
Relate to King. There you go.
He plays Team Karate. Tell him your team, dude.
Yeah.
It's Iron Fist on point, then Ryu as Hadouken, and then Akuma Tatsu.
Well, that's very interesting. Like
Yeah.
I know Ryu and Akuma can do stuff. Like I've seen Bryan Kasugano a lot. He's actually we're having our largest major yet next weekend here, and a lot of international players are coming because I convinced them to come. I was like, try everyone to come. Like, don't worry about like places to stay. We'll figure out stuff. Just make it here, because we want this to be like the biggest thing ever, at least for Marvel down here.
Right on.
That's the coolest thing about Marvel, is that it brings so many people that, you were mentioning in a lot of the things, that a lot of your travels were brought together with one-time chance meetings. Like you met a guy once, you guys were cool, and then you ended up staying with them, and that's what's so wonderful about, I think it's Marvel mostly, that, people just kind of drop everything at the drop of a hat, and they're just like, yeah, come on over, stay here. It's all good.
I think it's honestly the whole FGC, at least depending. Of course, they will help you. The odds are better for them to help you if you play the same games as them. But I've got people helping me not only for Marvel, but also people I've met through KOF, for example, which is a game I also do well at. Not amazingly, but I do well enough to win majors in the States where there are no Mexicans present.
No Mexicans. So speaking of teams, I was reading about how you picked your team, and I think I saw that you said when the game came out, you just knew you were going to play Hagar. Because I guess you just like the character. I don't know if you're a big Final Fight fan or why he was.
I really like Final Fight. I love the concept of like.
Yes.
Of just in take like going out to the streets to do it itself, because no one else will do it.
Yes.
I
love that game.
And people assume I like large characters in fighting games, which is not really true. But what I do like in fighting games is characters with wrestler type characters.
Okay. Yeah.
So because I feel like those moves are like super hype. So, but like for example, I don't like if they had put GIF in Marvel instead of Hagar, I would have never touched him. Because he's like he just grabs and stuff, but it's not. I don't think it's hype.
Right.
But Hagar is like proper wrestling, and like it's for me it's really hype. Like when I watched the Rainbow Mika trailer for Street Fighter 5, I was like, oh my god, because she and Karen were the characters I wanted in the game, and now that they're in, I'm really happy about that. I'm really excited to try that when the game actually comes out. I don't really care much about the beta because I know how much games can change until the game comes out. So like everything I see right now is like it could be like completely different when the game comes out. So I don't really like worrying about that until the game comes out.
I get the Armika thing, but why Karen too?
I think she's really cool. I like the spoiled princess type of character too. I like characters with like I like the girl characters with that evil princess laugh.
Yeah, that laugh is pretty fucking badass.
So that's why I also wanted her in the game. But for example, if I was able to like, I've always wanted to learn, for example, Tekken. But
for Lily.
No. I prefer King by all means. Like
yes.
Okay.
Too many hype wrestling moves. Like I tried playing King Armor King in Pack 2, but like I don't have anyone to learn from. Like I'm willing to pick up most games if I had someone to learn from. That's the thing.
Right. Wait, so not that it's fighting game related. I know I'm going off the path here, but are you a wrestling fan then?
I used to be big into wrestling, not that much anymore, but I still keep up with it, and like many of my close friends are like still really deep into it.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really watch it, but I know a shitload of people that still do. So that Sentinel, I saw that you picked up because I guess you said you really liked him in Marvel 2?
Yeah. So what happens is that there's a thing in Latin America that, depending on the country, like I would say countries that were better off in terms of economy based weren't like stopped being arcade. Their communities stopped being arcade based way earlier. So, for example, here in Chile, during the dark ages of fighting games, the Capcom games that were played the most were Third Strike and CVS2.
Right on.
Yeah. But like in countries that were more of the struggle, especially Mexico and Peru, which are really, really similar in terms of culture, even FGC culture, they were all, since most people still went to arcades to play over there, they were all about Marvel 2. And those two countries are like really, really close to the American in terms of how the community works. They did play money matches and stuff. So in my country, Marvel 2 never picked up. Mm-hmm. And I did like watching the game, but it was always like, why would I even bother? Like, I'm never going to get to play all these guys that I watch, all these guys that I watch and stuff. I'm never going to get to play them because I'll never be able to go to the States. So why would I bother learning this game that nobody here even plays?
Yeah.
But I really like watching Sentinel in particular. So that's why, like, when they announced Sentinel, I was like, okay. So, like, just like people talk about, like, Sanford Sentinel in Marvel 2, I want people to talk about my Sentinel in Marvel 3.
Okay. So that's you were already kind of 2/3 of the way there. Like, you knew it was going to be Hagar, knew it was going to be Sentinel.
Mm-hmm.
Basically. And then I think I saw that you said Hulk, basically, you just wanted touch of death stuff that you could kill, and that you thought Hulk would be the best option.
Yeah, so what happens there is that I consider myself a player... I don't consider myself a talented player.
Right.
But I do consider myself hardworking and good at researching, which is a thing that until very recently in the whole region wasn't really valued. Like most people were like, why bother with frame data? Those thing that thing is useless, stuff like that. So I was willing to put on the hard work, and I was like, okay, so no one is killing in one touch. My reactions are subpar, I would say. My execution is also subpar, but I had really good reads, and I can craft stuff really well. I feel so. I was like, okay, So I want a character that, like, I know it's gonna be hard for me to get a touch, but I know that with the skills I do have, I will be able to get the touch with this character. And if since it's gonna be hard to get the touch, the compensation is that if they get touched, they die.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can understand that. And I think you said, even by your own admission, the team wasn't very successful at first, right?
Not at all. Like, for for most of vanilla, I didn't do really good with this team. When I started doing good, people started hating the team here. Like, I remember this vanilla tournament where I was playing against a guy that played like Wolverine Zero Wesker,
Right.
and I remember people were rooting for him because they didn't like my team.
What? In vanilla?
Yeah, in vanilla.
God, I fucking hated Wolverine and Wesker in vanilla. Ugh.
And I was still able to beat him, but I'm never going to about that one. But when Ultimate came out, a lot of things changed, and the team got definitely better overall. Like, Sentinel got worse, got like really worse, but Hulk and Hagar in Ultimates are so much better than in vanilla. Like, the only strict loss that I got from my team was her assist losing invincibility and hard knockdown. And for my team, I miss more the invincibility than the hard knockdown that most people miss.
Yeah.
Wait, so I'm sorry, Bryan, or maybe you could I'm sorry, what did they change about the assist in Ultimate?
What they changed was it doesn't hard knockdown like it did in vanilla, and also you lose the invincibility on startup. So pretty much if you get hit, you're gonna get hit. You just can't wait like 2 seconds and it comes out there then to attack.
So for example, in first year of Marvel, like Biscan's team worked really well.
Yes.
Because if you got a hit with Lariat, like while calling the Lariat assist, the opponent will get hard knockdown. So that means he has all the time in the world to just go with Wesker and do OTG gun and combo from there.
Oh, I didn't know that Marvel players worried about hard or soft knockdown, to be honest. I didn't know that was a thing.
For that team, it was super relevant.
Yes.
So obviously you had some success after that and won Evo. And then the thing that I was reading that I was most interested about was you playing Justin. Because unfortunately, I was there at the tournament, so I didn't get to see a lot of your tournament, your matches until top 8.
I saw the Justin one, and I got a lot of stuff to say about that.
Let's do it. Oh, yeah.
I got a lot of stuff. First off, I think everyone needs to know this. What were you doing when it was tied 2-2? Were you just trying to hype yourself up? Were you just trying to go like Hulk mode or something? Because I've never seen you do that before, where you just were like thinking like which pizza to decide, veggie or meat lovers, when you're doing that little moment.
No, it was. By the way, shout outs to Meat Lovers Pizza, but
new sponsor. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
But the thing is, for me, it was a super critical match. You could ask anyone that saw me right before that match that I was like about to cry myself out just to like try to relax and regain focus because what happened is that on Evo last year I had to play Justin at the exact same instance, top 32 winners, and I lost to him.
I did remember that. I do remember that.
And then I had to play Chris back to back, and I lost again. And I was doing super good, and that was the run for me. Jeez. So this time I was like, I can't I don't have much self confidence. So I was definitely thinking. I feel I let too many times history repeat itself. So it's like, if there's a point I need to make a change, it's now. Now is the opportunity to make a difference. I was like, I had a lot of emotions pent up, but during the match, I was trying to stay completely focused on the match and by the time I got to 2-2, I had so much built up inside. I need to let it out, or otherwise it will not let me play the final game properly. So that's why I gotta like let stuff out just to be able to regain composure and play my best on the last game.
That's funny. I read the article saying that you took a minute. I didn't see it. You were watching the stream, Ward?
Oh yeah, I saw the whole damn thing, and
it was intense.
It like you looked like you were gonna cry and punch someone at the same time, but I guess that's what you needed to do, and you overcame. You played an amazing fifth game against Justin, and you beat him convincingly. I'll say that.
Right on.
I feel that I don't know.
It was just like a lot of pent up frustration from all the losses you had, and then when you beat him, I saw like just a range of emotions just come out of you.
Yeah,
and that was to get to top 16, right?
Justin was pretty much my black beast during the whole year because I had to play him in so many tournaments where I lost to him. So it was like
yeah,
beating him here, taking down the champion from last year. That's when I thought, like, initially looking at my brackets, I was like, I want to spy for Sunday. I want to make it to Sunday. That's what will make me happy with the result here. Okay. But when after I beat Jesse, I was like, maybe perhaps I'm at the point where I can take this down.
Huh.
That's it. So you didn't really feel confident that you could take the whole thing going in?
No. I never feel confident like that, especially because I feel I always play at a disadvantage. So that also comes to the money match thing. The friend I played with taught me that when there's money on the line, honor goes out of the window. So basically,
yeah.
Why will I money match people when most money matches for me will be a losing proposal for me? Like I feel that most of the time I'm at a disadvantage because of the team. So I don't see a point on doing that because I don't feel like I can outplay players, but like the team doesn't really help much. It's like I had to put work to beat the people, especially the better ones, and I'm definitely sure that by now the team against a few players it just doesn't cut it anymore. So I've been playing. I played for like a couple of times right before Evo. I played PR Rock's team that I've been practicing for a while.
Okay.
With like I have to say, I would say, kind of good, kind of successfully. I had to play Terry Bogard at CEO, and I picked that team, and it went 3-2.
I saw that too.
And I would say I lost just because of my lack of knowledge and familiarity with the team, but I was doing pretty well overall. And the week after CEO, I was able to win Undefeated of the Southwest, which is a regional tournament that Angelic put on, and I was able to beat pretty strong contenders with that team, like Ryan from Las Vegas and Cloud in Grand Finals.
I think I saw a video you uploaded not too long ago about a Wolverine grab combo, right?
Yeah, I always I think it's the best I can do to like help people is that just show them that different teams can do a lot of stuff, or that like I can do better stuff than a lot of people that actually play those teams. And I feel that I'm not a better player, but I feel I can find out better stuff than what they do. I feel that people in Marvel in particular don't value. They're so like most players are so autopilot that they don't value their resources properly, and I do a lot of that. That's why I try to optimize my combos to the fullest, because I feel every single bit of meter counts.
Yeah,
can make the difference, especially with a team that's not that great. So you need all the meter for like try to save DHC or like crossover counter, stuff like that. You need to get everything you can.
So speaking of the Justin match, going back to that, and you're talking about better players and people that play different teams. I read that you said that even though you beat him, you still definitely consider him a stronger player than you.
Oh, of course. Like there's a lot of players that I consider way stronger than me. I'm not, like I say, I'm not a talented player, and we're talking about players that are really talented, have have over a decade of experience, and they also have constant access to other high level players to further to also become stronger themselves. That no, I don't have access to any of that, so it will be it will be, to say the least, dumb of me to think I am stronger than those players.
Right on. No, I dig that, because I know that's not everyone feels that way. A lot of people think, they beat someone in tournament, they're better than that player now.
No, hell no.
So I guess after Justice, so you said Ward, that put him in the top 16. I don't. Where from there, I'm not really sure. I rewatched your Evo win last night. Actually, I watched winners finals and grand finals.
You you faced Takume to get into top 8, and I know that was hard on you.
Yeah. I've really gotten along with Takumi ever since he entered the team, and for me it was crushing to have to do that myself. But at that point, that's how it works. Like if you have skilled people on the team, you're bound to get to a point where you'll have to cross paths with them, and you have to take them out, and that's how it works.
Mm-hmm. And then you had to go through. It was, if I remember correctly, you went through Fruitsy, right?
Yes.
Fruitsy, and then you had to face Apology Man.
Yes.
That match.
I'm going to be honest with you. When you had to face Apology Man, I picked him just because of the unblockable setup.
That team.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like the thing about Apology Man in particular is that everyone is like, oh, they're unblockable. But the way I see the game is that basically pretty much everyone at high level is trying to get to the 300% status where basically you get the first touch and you kill everyone else.
Right.
So basically, I just see Apollo Man the same way I see everyone else, where basically the only thing I need to do is to touch him before he touches me.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. That match was awesome. I loved watching that match. Plus, I love his team. I love Super Skrull. I think that's like one of the coolest characters in the game. But yeah, that was interesting. And then I rewatched Losers Finals just because I was like reliving being there and watching Ray Ray play and all that. And then you played Ray Ray in Grand Finals. How was that match? I mean, were you nervous, or do you feel like is he one of the guys on that list that you feel like is a better player than you?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think he's like, I feel like him losing to players, like he has all the skill and like execution knowledge and skill to be on par with like Justin Crazy and F-Champ. The only thing that holds him back is that he is capable of losing to players that you could see that he shouldn't lose to. Like I played Ray Ray and I went kind of even with him in casuals, and when I play him tournament, it's always super even. But the thing is, I think what made the difference is that while I was playing top 8, I played the best Marvel of my life, and everyone that was playing there, like in particular Apollo Man and Ray Ray, they were playing not to lose, and I was playing to win, and that was made the difference. Because when you play not to lose, you start thinking about everything that's on the line and all that, and there are other thoughts that make noise on your brain, and I feel those things won't let you play your cleanest game. And I think that because they were like, we have to win. Probably they were like, I don't know what they were thinking, but I assume they were like, we have to win this for America. We can't let this guy win. We can't let the guy with the Scrappy team win. Stuff like that. They were. I don't know. I know. I feel these guys don't have much love for me, which is like, it's okay. You can't have everyone like you, but like the fact that they were thinking that was your thought process added extra pressure to them, while I was just focused on playing my best game and winning every single game I played. And I feel that's what made the difference at the end, because I feel like in any other circumstance, it would have been a lot harder to beat those guys if I had the opportunity to beat them. But I could see on their play during that day that they were not playing the best they were. And that's
thanks, David.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry. I forgot the controller does that. But that's interesting to hear you say that you think, that he's a more skilled player than you, because watching that match, I mean, you beat him pretty convincingly. Like, it was...
Yes.
Yeah, you kind of walked over him.
Well, the thing is that I guess part of the skill is being able to retain your composure no matter what. And, like, I played Ray Ray before, both in casuals and in tournament, and I know he's capable of way more than that. But on that particular day, he wasn't playing his best, and I was playing my best.
All right.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Right.
So that's kind of what I got up to Evo. That's what I know of you, and then the post Evo stuff. I know Ward had.
I got two questions before I take off from here. First off, have you played Yu-Gi-Oh? Because this is essentially it's Marvel times 5. That's what Yu-Gi-Oh is. I know you play a lot of
this guy.
I know how to play. There is a local community here, but it has never really interested me to get into it.
Okay. No, that's totally reasonable, because I think you probably do well just because you know how to play Marvel, and like I said, this is like Marvel times 5. So there's a random factor is very high. Okay, but serious though, I think you've heard it. I think everyone else has heard it here about F-Chap's comments and saying it would be different if you faced him. Well, I have different to say about that, but I want to hear your take on what he said. Like, do you feel it was disrespectful? Do you feel like he's right, or do you feel like, let me just hear what you have to say. How about that?
Honestly, I don't really care about what people like that have to say. Like, it was super. Some things he said later were super unpolite and unprofessional, I feel. But regarding specifically that, what you just asked, I feel that probably if I had to play him, I would have probably lost. But that's how tournaments work. Sometimes you play people. Sometimes you play people you have a bad matchup with, or sometimes you play people you have good matchups with. Like F-Champ lost pretty convincingly to Clockwork, and I always beat Clock in tournament. So it's like that's how tournaments are. You sometimes, like, all the rest of the tournaments, I had to play a player that had a good matchup against me or something like that, or was on the right state of mind, and I lost. This time I was able to overcome the odds. That's it.
No. Yeah, I was going to say that, like, F-Champ, it would have been different. Then you probably would have beat Clockwork and went into top 8. That's just my opinion.
That is a weird thing to say. Like, had I been in top 8, I would have beat you. It's like, you weren't. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You weren't there. So guess what? It didn't happen. And this man that we're talking to is our Evo 2015 champion for Marvel. So that's the world works.
Wait, is Naylor back?
No, he
had
took
to
off.
go. He had work.
Oh, he's done.
Yeah, I got to take off too. But nice meeting you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Likewise.
Yes.
Likewise. Take care.
Take care. I will see y'all later.
All
right. Bye, Ward.
Bye.
All right, Abe.
Yeah, it's still work week, so like everybody had. Even me, I only have a day off today. I got lucky. I have a day off today. But let me ask you. Are you still with Team Black Eye?
Yes, I'm still with Team Black Eye.
Okay, and I mean, like, what kind of sponsor is that? Like, is that like a company? Because I only know about it because of you and the other guys who are on there, but I don't actually know what they are. What do they do? Or
Black Eye is started basically as a place. Black Eye is an apartment where people gather in Tokyo to play Marvel mostly, because in Japan people don't really gather at home to play. They always gather at the arcades. So the thing with Marvel is that Marvel 3 is not in arcades. So this person decided to make his apartment available for anyone that wanted to play Marvel over there. He has basically setups and shares, like, he doesn't share anything, just a voluntary donation to keep the place running.
Wow.
And that's how the place. That's how Black Eye started. That's Black Eye at its core.
So it's just a guy.
Basically.
Dang.
that reminds me of the dude in the Bronx. I know he changed the name of his apartment, but it used to be the House of Crack. If you know who that is, Kane.
Yeah, Bum.
Yeah,
But,
Bum. Yeah.
yeah.
Forgot what he
Yeah,
calls
basically,
it now.
House of Chaos, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it will be pretty. It will be kind of like that, but of course in a very different environment.
Okay. Are you gonna continue to stick with them because they've been in the news lately with certain teammates leaving and stuff, or?
I will have to. I'm still checking that honestly. After like I'm not really under contract or anything. It's just an agreement by word. So, but like things are changing there because Black Eye recently picked up a Counter-Strike global offensive team to get more into the esports side of things, and depending on how the focus goes, like I still need to talk with the manager to see what are the goals for next year and see like if I can find better options to get help from elsewhere. At least on my own, I'm trying to get to find the possibility of sponsors for myself, and particularly down here. Like go to basically, I still need to write the draft, but I want to have something that I can send to like every possible company and basically just advertise myself for potential sponsorship of different companies. Like I feel in terms of like the FGC or esports, a lot of people think that sponsors must be people like sponsors must be like related to all these like monitor brands, stick brands, or in case of computer parts brands that manufacture parts or stuff like that. But I think that lacking in foresight because if you realize in sports like physical sports, some of the biggest sponsors are pretty much the antithesis of what they're sponsoring. See, beer companies sponsoring the largest American football events.
or my favorite, Viagra for any sport. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know they were running that, but
they do. This is not a new thing. This is not over here.
Oh yeah, or like Pizza Hut sponsoring like the NBA or whatever. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
stuff like that. So it doesn't. I don't think I have to like lock myself into that, but like this thing of like competitive gaming is like really new here.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I just need to show people. I feel that how big it's getting.
Yeah.
And I feel I can do well in getting like support from different companies and maybe like run like somehow maybe be my own team or just get a sponsorship, like different supports from different companies and like advertise them around stuff like that. I don't know.
That's interesting. No, I mean, well, you got that Evo win on your resume, so that will definitely.
Basically, people here don't consider you. They don't. It kind of sucks because people here don't support you until like you're completely well established.
Whose dog is that?
But I've gotten to the point where I'm well established. I mean, I won Evo. For me, what I wanted the most about winning Evo is that I was hoping that it will.
Abe, is that your dog?
No, it's mine.
I have it.
Oh,
yes.
I'm hoping that it will give me additional tools to keep developing myself as a player, become a stronger player, stuff like that. I'll be right back. I need to open the door.
You're fine.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's all good.
So, where were we?
I think that was pretty well covered. I mean,
for that one, yeah, I think you were good. Here, let me ask this. I feel like this is a horrible question, but it's asked every famous Marvel player has to answer it again and again and again. What is the talk of the Marvel is dead stuff that we love to keep on saying?
Okay, I'll put it this way. Marvel is a game that hasn't changed at all during the last 4 years. It's been the same game. It's not gonna change. This is the game that we got stuck on, And no, however, and people say, no, this game sucks because it doesn't get updates. However, it got around 850, 900 entrants at Evo, like, like, and games that had like 30K pot bonuses, like MK, like KI, they got like half of those numbers. So I don't see really why Marvel will be there. Like, we're running a tournament here in the middle of nowhere, like basically where the war ends, and people from all across South America are coming. We're having like 30 players from abroad, plus the players that are coming from like different regions of the country. Particularly for Marvel, like Marvel is the game with the most international presence in this tournament we're having this weekend. So it shows the passion that that the Marvel community has. So I don't see how a game like that can die anytime soon. I feel I feel Marvel will definitely die whenever a replacement game comes out. But as long as that doesn't happen, then Marvel will still be pretty well.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, keep going. Go. David.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, since that's the case, not that it's a replacement game per se, but you did say you were interested in 5. Are you looking at putting some serious time into that and maybe traveling and doing that competitively, or are you going to stay focused on Marvel?
In my own case, my goal has always been to become one of the strongest fighting game players.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened that given my situation and my resources, Marvel has become naturally easier to it's been easier in Marvel to achieve a decent level because of the circumstance that like community is not too well developed here. Like there are players, but like there's a mindset. Like the problem with this region is that the mindset can be really scrubby. But on the other hand, you have to understand that it's a lot of people. Most of the people here don't aspire to be anything more than like the best in their area code or whatever, because most of these people know that they won't ever go outside to compete, so they don't have anything higher to aim for. So in that aspect, it has to be understandable. In my particular case, like I say, I'm willing to learn anything as long as I have someone like a well-known player and teacher that I can learn from. So I'm definitely looking forward to pick up 5 among other games and do everything I can to become good at it. Honestly, I feel my favorite 3 fighting game players are Tokido, Justin, and Ryan Hart
Because
of their capabilities of being such strong players in no matter the field they play.
Yeah, up until recent history, they've always played like 85 games each. You know, like so.
Yeah.
At any given time.
Like a lot of other players that were like I don't understand how Chris G, for example, is so good at multiple games.
That guy's ridiculous.
He like I'm honestly like super jealous of the natural talent he has, because he wins in so many games. He does super well, and he plays like so many like bad characters. Like he can still beat people. Like even in Marvel, Chris has like a really really bad team, and he still beats people with it.
Wait, do you consider that Morgan Doom team a bad team now, or?
No. He has a side team he plays when he wants to troll people.
Oh, which side team is it? Because he has a lot of teams.
He has a Chun-Li.
Jesus.
Chun-Li Cienko X23, I think.
I've seen
nice.
This. Yeah,
That's dope.
I've seen that. Yeah. He has some setups with X23. It's cool.
That's what's up.
But what were you gonna say, David?
Oh, I was gonna say. So you said that you play a lot of different games, and I was interested to find out that you did spend some time with Street Fighter 4, and I think I saw that you were saying that that the Oki in that game was kind of a problem for you, like the wake up situations.
Like I said, I have really bad situations, but the most of the problem is that you need to play other people.
Yeah.
To learn the situations and get used to them, and I don't have that opportunity. Like when I was in Japan, for example, I can't really learn from the people because most people don't speak English, so there's still the language barrier, and it's really expensive to play in arcades there. And no people don't. Most people don't gather to play at home, so it's really like even if I want to, like it's really hard to learn games in Japan.
I saw that you were saying that. So you played Guilty Gear. I think I said you saw was another game that you really had interest in getting good in. But the reason that I brought up SF4 and all those other games is that what I found interesting and I wanted to talk to you about was that you said you're a big believer in training in a bunch of different games helps you be better at all of them.
Yes.
So do you feel that even like the limited time you spent with KOF and all those other games made you a better Marvel player?
Oh, definitely.
Do you would you say even the card background? Like I guess what I'm asking is what would you say you took from some of those other games that maybe you wouldn't have learned otherwise?
How to actually properly play fighting games, like all the basic groundwork. You can skip it for the most part in Marvel. Like Marvel has a different skill set that has stuff that's not really common in other games. So when you take all the when you have like more fundamentally solid um, groundwork, I feel that definitely helps in Marvel. But most people don't see it because the way Marvel works, especially with the better teams, you can definitely skip that for the most part until you get to the level where you have to play the actually good players, that the players that count that you should be aiming to beat, and you're not going to get past them. But for the most part, you're still going to be like beating most of the other people just because you understand your team, how it works.
Okay, that's
enough to get to.
Do you?
Go ahead.
So I mean, sorry. I know I was reading about the way that you say you train, and I'm guessing that you apply this to every game that you train in. And the word that I kept seeing you say was lines, like character lines.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, I think I get what you're getting at, as far as like patterns, or what exactly do you mean by that?
Basically, I try to use more of, like in Marvel in particular, I try to take more advantage of like human nature to gain an advantage. So, for example, picking Red Hulk was not random. I picked Red Hulk because red is a color that naturally instills fear in people, and that allows me to have more control about on putting my opponents in the situations I want them to be, and that allows me to get better and easier reads. Regarding the lines, is that most players, given certain characters, will do certain sequences that if you have them on your mind, it's easier for you to predict. And if you can predict those, even if they're better characters, you might still have a chance of on taking them down. Although I use that more earlier in Marvel, but nowadays it's become so much like it only works when it only works when you have to use that whenever you're playing like the really good players.
Okay, that's interesting. So even if you don't know the in and outs of every character, you'll want to know like what patterns or what go-tos they kind of have that they typically use with that character.
Exactly. Like if you put people in a fear situation, and they have a certain movement option to attempt to escape it, for the most part, people will use that option.
Okay.
So, for example, if a character has a double jump, and if you scare someone, you get into your mind to get them scared, the odds are really high that on incoming they will double jump with that character.
Right. Oh, that makes sense. I mean, so did you kind of break down the cast? I mean, do you kind of know for every single character what at least a base of what they have, or are there any characters that you're just completely unfamiliar with?
More than that, I mean, of course, I'm not that familiar with more than being familiar with the characters, I'm familiar with that with what players tend to do with those
Okay.
characters, and that's one of the huge benefits that doing all this World Warrior thing has given me. I've been able to play people from almost everywhere, in many different places with different levels of skill, and I I think I can say that I'm the only Marvel player that has been able to play against players of the whole roster that play them at the highest level.
That's what's up. The last
Like,
thing that I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize there was more. I
no,
apologize.
I feel that like for every character in the game, I can give you a player I've played that is considered to be one of the people that play the character at the highest level.
Okay. Wow.
That's how I feel.
Just the last thing I wanted to bring up. I'm sure Abe has more or whatever. I just want to kind of like get mine out of the way because I'm almost done. This was like the most interesting thing I read, and it wasn't gameplay or anything. It was just kind of your approach, saying that you're a huge believer in mental and physical health need to be at like tip top levels for you to be competitive.
Yes.
And that you saying that you yourself believe that you have serious self-confidence issues.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to just hear you talk about that because it was a small blurb in the article, but I was like, man, that's really interesting. I wish they had talked more about that.
Like it's a very simple thing, really. The the better you are in, like, if you're better physically with your like if you're in a good physical condition, all your natural traits will improve as a player, like reactions, execution. It's it's fairly easy. Like you can see the Korean esports team, especially for StarCraft. Part of their of like when they live in gaming houses, part of of their training regime is daily workout, like 2 hours, because they help them keep them in shape and have their natural skills prolonged for longer, across time. Because of course there's a natural decay of those skills. So by being on a healthy physical condition, you can get those back to shape or help them stay with you for a longer time. And in the terms of mental health, I feel that the more the more the more in a state of wellness with yourself in terms of mental strength that you are, uh, the better you can focus on what you're actually doing. So a lot of people, when you have doubts in your mind, when you are thinking about other things like, on like, I have to win this match to get to paid. I need to be this player, stuff like that. If you're not focused, like when you play and when you honestly when you play to win, you play to win the current match you're playing, and that should be everything on your mind. That's what your complete focus should be in winning the current, not winning the set, not winning the match, not just playing your best game.
Right.
And if you're the better player, it will be that will be reflected on your result.
Mm.
That's how I see it. So if you have things troubling you, you have more noise on your mind, on your brain, and that causes you to, of course, doubt more on your decisions. You will have to think more. There's a really good article about from a game designer that's also into fighting games, that talks about stacks of thought process, and basically he shows you how you can improve your reaction time by taking the stacks that you have in your brain and shortening like making shortcuts, realize which ones of them are clutter, which ones you should take out, which ones could you compress to less blocks of thought,
Wow.
and that definitely can
Wow.
make can make you a better player.
No, that's interesting. I mean, all that makes sense. I guess it's something that a lot of us as players don't consider all the time. You know what I mean? But especially the physical aspect, that definitely never occurred to me. But Yeah, that all makes a lot of sense.
Like I know for a fact, that the Topanga guys, uh, the Mad Cats guys, they do workout, and like you can see it in certain players that have evolved immensely in a really short period of time. For example, Bonchan. Bonchan used to be definitely overweight like 2 years
Oh yeah,
ago,
right.
and then by advice of Daigo and Tokido, he underwent like an image change and underwent like physical training, and now he became so much stronger. He become not only he became a better player and a more appealing player for sponsorships, and
Yeah,
I guess that's why Red Bull picked him up.
yeah. That all seemed to kind of happen at the same time. That's interesting. I never thought of the correlation. I always just kind of figured. I guess it was a coincidence, but I mean that does make sense. What was the self confidence thing? What was that? I really wanted to go more into that. Like you just said that you had yourself a lot of issues with self confidence, and I was curious. Like what did you mean by that?
So the thing is that uh, I always have different problems regarding that in life. Like when I was in school, I used to get bullied a lot and things like that, just because I was like the smart silent kind of type that like went on his own, like wanted to play video games when they were like when they were like the not cool thing to do, and they like reading and not playing football like soccer with everyone like it's common in schools, stuff like that. Um, and after that, like, I started realizing that I shouldn't even get bothered by that. But that happened like way later when I was like in high school, and I used to do like really really well academically in terms of grades and stuff. And I even got to like the best university here to study computer engineering with like a scholarship and stuff.
Right on.
But but that didn't go well for me, and that crushed a part of me, honestly, in some
Mm,
sort of way, because I had never met failure before,
right.
and from there on, I started feeling that everything everything I everything I got into was doomed to fail, and
Hmm.
even this fighting game thing. Uh, one of the reasons I got so hardcore into it was that I felt like I have nothing to lose because I don't have anything really. So if there's some way to give like some validation to my life, I feel to do something with my life, it's gonna be this.
Wow. So you would say that would you say that that's helped then the success that you've had, that it's kind of helped make you a more confident
Uh,
person overall, or
Sorta, honestly. I remember reading like I've been following the fighting game, the international scene since like shortly started playing fighting games with the intention of beating someone else. Because I used to play fighting games alone, but like back in the day, I used to play like in the Super Nintendo PS1 days. I used to play like for the most part RPGs, and that's how I learned English. Um, but when I started playing fighting games with the intention like of beating someone, when the friend that got me into fighting games, a short time after that, I got like awareness of the international community, and I started like reading a lot of stuff about how things work out there. And one of the things that always caught my eye is that people don't care who you are, where you are from, how you are physically, mentally, whatever. The only thing, the thing that commands respect in the AFGC is that if you're a good player, you get respected. And like I feel I proved to myself that I can be good at this, but I still feel most people don't really respect what I'm trying to do, which kind of sucks for me. But it's not going to stop me from keep going forward on this. But I've had some moments where people that were the stuff of legends for me that I read about them, about what they did in fighting games for the longest time. People people like those that came to me, um, they were like, you know what? I really respect what you're trying to do, and that for me is priceless.
Definitely, yeah, for sure.
All right, so yeah, man. I'll just ask a few more and then we'll let you go because I'm sure you got things to do. But and here's another question I'm sure you hear a lot of, but since this was the year, as many people from Marvel will continue to remember it as like the fall of the gods, like who do you think are like right now currently the strongest players in Marvel?
I will say the same ones. Uh, the same ones that everyone thinks are the strongest. Honestly,
So it's still the same three, even though they just
so
didn't win this year. That's it.
the thing is that I can see what happened because of the there's this, like during the year they still did super well in tournaments even though they didn't practice. So I'm pretty sure they got overconfident on that. They decided they were like, we don't need to prioritize this because we know we can still do well without needing to practice this. But I guess that for Evo in particular, they didn't take into account that so many people will like put everything they had on the line for Evo and will prepare, and I'm pretty sure that took them by surprise. Honestly,
All right, I got you. And then
like
no, keep going.
uh, of course, I feel like people like I don't know, like Justin is amazing. Chris G is super talented. Uh, F Champ knows the game like well, at least understands what he has to do with his team, like nobody other. And that those are things that I don't see other players playing, like Cloud and Ray Ray. Like they're really strong, but they're still lacking something, uh, different things, but they're lacking something that I can't pinpoint really well at this point. But I think it's in the terms of Cloud, it will be. I think both have the no. Actually, I think both of them have a thing where they play the way they want to play instead of playing the way they should be playing, and I think that's what makes the difference between them and the rest. I
That's
mean, that like that's what's keeping them from reaching the very top. But other than that, like it's the same players as everyone thinks that are the best. Honestly,
I got you. That's the final evolution right there when you play the way you should be playing instead of what you want to do.
yeah.
I got you. And then last, I know you said you got this tournament this weekend. So who's coming from international that we might have known
So
or heard of?
so first of all, there's an official guest that got invited by the tournament itself. This is pretty much our local major. It's gonna have Ultra Street Fighter 4, Mario vs. Ultimate Mario vs. Capcom 3, Gifted Gear XR, King of Fighters 13, um, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, MKX, Killer KI. So it's pretty much a major here. There's one official guest from that the tournament itself brought who will be K-Red, and
Hey,
outside of that, like particularly Marvel, from Argentina, we're gonna have El Gato and like five more Argentina players, including Aro, who is I think the strongest player there. But everyone wants to see El Gato, so um, we're having a crew coming from Bolivia. It's about six players, and I want to give them huge shout outs to them because they're super motivated to come. They're coming by ground, which is going to take them like 3-4 days.
wow.
Um, um, from Brazil, we're having Lynch, considered the strongest Marvel player in Brazil, who plays Zero May Cry. We're going to have Bruno Wizard, who is also regarded as one of the strongest there, who plays Chris Haggard Strider, a very unconventional team, but he does put work with it. We're having Bryan Casugano, who is always a fan favorite with his Street Fighter team.
I'm sorry, who does he use?
Bryan Casugano.
Yeah.
He plays Team Street Fighter, plays Chan Ryu Akuma.
Nice.
Oh wow.
I guess that makes sense. Those are the only 3 Street Fighter characters in the game. I didn't think about that.
We forget Chun's in the game sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
And we're having players from Peru, including J2 Jin, who did a lot of noise on the time he was staying in the States. He does super well in Marvel 3 and Marvel 2 too. It's really interesting. So he's a really strong player. So, and some more players from Peru are coming. So ideally, what I want to do during the tournament is to set up some kind of like a Carly Mustache side tournaments, but because of quantity of player restrictions, I think we're gonna limit it to 4 players per team instead of 5. But it should be a really interesting exhibition.
Nice. And that'll be streamed on your channel?
No, that's gonna be part of the event. So it's gonna be streamed like on one of the 2 official channels for the tournament. But I've already planned out to run a Salty Street on Saturday night, and that's gonna be run by myself on my channel. And that's when all the interesting stuff should happen, like all the matches that the people would want to see, like all the players that are really that people really like to watch, like Bryan Casugano, like Elgato, all those players, plus everyone that shows up. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a really hype night and a really hype weekend.
Wait, so is this your turn? You're putting this tournament on?
No, I'm not putting this tournament on. I'm just trying to I just
like a
trying
to
by
bring
my
as many
by my
people.
own on my own part. I just try on my own part to have as many Marvel players here as possible to show people out there the talent pool that we have here.
Right on.
Like a lot of people take players from this region for granted in terms of they come from down there. They're probably not that good. But it's just because they've never had the opportunity to go out. Like for the most part, to go being able to just go to the States for someone from Latin America is a really difficult, complicated process, and also really expensive. Like getting the tourist visa is really hard, and it costs a lot of money plus the ticket there, stuff like that. But there's really, really good talent here, and that's why I want to show. The best Brazilian Street Fighter player went to Street Grand Battle this weekend in France, and he got 3rd place.
What was his name?
Wow.
Keoma. He's an
the
Able
player.
player.
Yeah. He won Capcom Cup.
He's from where? I'm sorry?
The Premier.
He's from Brazil.
He's from Brazil. Oh, okay.
And actually, they had to do a lot of stuff to be able to make it happen for Keoma to be able to go to Capcom Cup, because actually the first time they attempted to get a visa for him, his application got denied. So that means even if he wants to, even if he has the money, he can't enter the States.
Oh wow.
Dang.
So they had to do a lot of stuff and get help from Capcom itself, so he will be able to go. And they managed to get it, and I really hope he does well. I know the guy, and I know he's really strong and really dedicated. So I really hope it's a new sign of things to come.
Yeah, I'm still new to him, but he does look really he does look really strong. I believe he's going to DreamHack too, right? Next week.
Yeah, he's also going to DreamHack. Like I said, there's a lot of strong players here. There's a lot of really strong players here that people don't know about because they don't go to tournaments. And it's really common in American FGC to think if you don't go to tournaments, you're a nobody.
I got you.
But it's not a thing that they don't want to. It's a thing that they just can't go.
All right. And at the major that you're having, I forgot. I don't remember if you mentioned it. Is Smash gonna be there?
Yes.
Right.
I don't know if it's gonna be a main or side event. I think I think I think 4 is gonna be main and Mel is gonna be side, or I can't remember exactly.
All right. I
No,
only
no, no.
asked because I know you have Zero from around there too, and
Yeah.
pretty popular here lately.
Well, is Smash has always been uh, one of the one of the most popular games here. I remember back in the day. Um, I remember back in the day when they run like Third Strike and CVS2 and KOF 11 tournaments here, and they all struggled to get like 30 players each, and Smash and Melee capped at 64 every single time free.
Oh wow,
Nice.
that's the same here, man. That's the same here.
Yeah, that game just is huge. I don't know what it is, man.
We just
But
had
people,
like I don't know if you want to call it a major, but we just had a big tournament here, and because Smash is so huge, that ended up being both Smashes ended up being the main game. So, all right, and the last thing I'll ask, when's the next time are we gonna see you here in the States?
Ooh, that's always difficult to know. Like I said, I never know when I'll be able to go out. I have to wait like for the tournament that gives the ticket to get announced first here. Then I have to know. I have to go and try to win it. And if I win it, I talk with what I always done is to talk with the organizers so they could send me as early as possible. Um, and but if I don't win it, then I have to figure out a way to make it there on my own. I'm aiming for like the usual every year, which would be around April, like mid-April or so. I need to check the calendar for events next year, but I guess I will try to open with. I'd love to go to final round, for example, but it's too early for me. I have other stuff to take care of down here. I'm going to move in with my girlfriend like in next week or in the next 2 weeks.
all right.
So,
Congrats.
and thank you. We've been together for a really long time, and she's the best because she fully supports me on this. It really kind of sucks for me to have to leave her for like 4 months every year or so, but this is something I need to do for myself. I'm aiming for like mid-April, probably gonna open with Northwest Majors probably. The tournament is kind of like a classic one for me for the most part. It's a tournament I really like attending.
I got you. And then probably you finish with Evo, right?
Probably finish with Evo, then see what happens. Check how things are going, and consider maybe staying for longer, do something, or just come back home.
I got you. Is there aside from the tournament we talked about, is there anything else you want to plug before we let you go?
Not really. Just be on the lookout for me in more games. Hopefully for 2016. Hopefully I'll be able to play more games at a higher level and do well in them. That's what I'm mostly looking forward to.
Okay.
All right,
man. Well, thanks for coming on.
No, seriously, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, if you want.
Thanks to you for the opportunity.